Beautiful scenes outside and inside. Buongiorno from Italy and welcome inside the Santa Giulia Arena. Action in the Paris, the Para Ice Hockey Tournament at Milano Cortina 2026 Paralympic Winter Games. Rob Snook with the call of Canada versus Slovakia. There are the Canadians, the 2024 World Champions, 2006 Paralympic champions in Italy. The men of the Maple Leaf are captained by Tyler McGregor. Tournament. The flag bearer for Team Canada, one of the two flag bearers in the opening ceremony, was named best forward at last year's World Championships, and a team that includes veterans Adam Dixon and Greg Westlake, one who has come out of retirement and the other who has reinvented himself as a forward after winning the best defenseman at Pyeongchang in 2018. On the other side of the ice, Slovakia, a team that has fought hard to earn a spot in these and the last Paralympic Winter Games, and is coming up back-to-back sixth-place finishes at the World Championships. It was a few months ago that Slovakia was in a do-or-die semi-final game at the Paralympic qualifying tournament against Korea. Had to win it to get a ticket, and they won it. Well, it's an honor to play at the Paralympic Winter Games, an honor to officiate too. The referee, Kevin Webinger from Canada. Lines, Pavel Blazik from Czechia and Tony Rundström from Sweden. Interesting note of this game is that Slovakia does not have a full lineup. They are playing several players short. In fact, they have one full forward line and a second forward line with just two players on it. There's the forwards for Canada. They will try to roll three lines. The first one is absolutely stacked with McGregor and Hickey. Second line with Pasolino, and the third line with Dixon, Lavin, and Westlake. All three of those lines are very good, but the Canadian defense is strong as well. And Corbin Watson, you see him there backing into his cage. He is back after missing Beijing, played at Pyeongchang. Boris Rebelka is the head coach. Steve Arsenault, the former player for the Canadian team, is an assistant coach under Rebelka.
La formazione iniziale del Canada.
Canadian players are ready. Canadian fans are ready to drop the puck.
Difensori numero 5.
A lot of the players' family members have made their way as well to Milano Cortina 2026. Slovakia, there you see it. That is very rare to see just five forwards. A forward line, Korman Jopa and Negda, very good. Correct. And Garbier, the other two forwards, and then four defensemen. They could theoretically have four more players, so obviously a shortage of players, and then maybe injuries a factor for Team Slovakia. It's their second time playing in the Paralympic Winter Games. Even Ritsko is the head coach. David Boburini is his assistant. They were seventh at the Paralympic Games 4 years ago in Beijing, Canada. The silver medalists at that event, playing in the final against Team USA. Jopa, what a tournament he had to help the team get to these games. 14 points in the MVP of the Paralympic qualifying tournament. They needed him, and he came through in the clutch. Rob Armstrong, Canadian, three-time Paralympian now. He'll be playing on the blue line as Canada has made some changes over the years with forwards and defensemen. It's Canada versus Slovakia in the Para Ice Hockey Tournament at Milano Cortina 2026. Canadians in their traditional red jerseys, Slovakia with white, red, and blue. Slovakians seventh at the last Paralympic Winter Games. Canadians silver medalists at that event, but they dump it in now. Long shot by Dixon. He's one of the players for Canada who has converted from defense to forward. Helps them have three strong forward lines. Dixon digging for the puck in the corner. It's fished out, sent in behind the net. Back for it goes Ferencik. He'll fire it off the boards. Canadians will try to keep it inside the blue line. They do. Tyrone Henry, his pass a little too hot to handle for Dixon. It'll be swatted off the boards and a nice little tip to come out to center. Dixon stole it from Martin Jopa. The two of them battle right in front of the bench. You see the bench is see-through in case you're new to watching para ice hockey. They replace the boards that you can't see through with the ones you can, so that the players who are sitting on the ice can see the game action. And there is ice in the benches too, by the way. Here's Liam Hickey. Liam Hickey with a left-hand shot, and he couldn't filter it through to the net. Jacobs Webb battling for it in the corner. It comes out to center ice, and it'll be collected by Halbert. Slide it ahead. Halbert now intercepted. He'll get it right back, though. Comes right back onto the stick of Halbert. He'll try to beat his man around the corner. Drops it back. Here's McGregor, the captain, walking in, ripping a shot. Rebound comes loose, and it'll be scooped up by Jopa. Here's a 2-on-2. Let's see if Slovakia can take advantage. Here's the captain, Jopa, long shot. He launched it just over top of the net. And Halbert gets absolutely slammed into in behind the net as Hickey swats it off the boards, and out it comes to center. Slovakia, again, playing with just the 5 forwards. It'll be interesting to see how they manage the playing time of those players. Watson thinks about coming out of his net and goes back in. Here's Armstrong with the puck for Canada. They'll send it across, just barely out of the reach. Bit of a dangerous pass as Jopa was trying to intercept it. But here come the Canadians. Dunn onto the stick of Cozzolino. Cozzolino couldn't get a shot away yet. Might still. Puck is fished out. Grabbed by Dunn. Sends it on net. Save made by Lapacek. And the 31-year-old goaltender is going to smother it. One of the few right-catching goaltenders you will see in the para ice hockey game. And he gets that big right glove, that trapper on it. Canada's forward line, Cozzolino, Boyle, and Dunn. Puck knocked back to the blue line. Armstrong's going to try to keep it in. Canada going with 3 forward lines, 4 sets of defense. 4 defensemen, 2 sets. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? 4 minutes gone by here in the opening period. No score. Canada, Slovakia. Tyrone Henry gets on his horse and races after it, picks up the puck. The Slovakia fans in the building thought there should have been a penalty. The referee says no. And here comes Boyle to center. His pass finds the stick of Cozzolino, and Dunn thought he had done enough to stay onside. But the linesman, it was Johnny on the spot, says nope, it is an offside call. Well, Canada was the gold medalist when the games were held in Torino back in 2006. That was 20 years ago. They're hoping for more Italian cooking and Italian luck, I suppose. Dixon on the face-off for Canada against Ferencik. Slapped in by Zach Lavin. He is from Essex, Ontario, just on the other side of Detroit in the U.S. across the border. Puck kept in by Canadian defenseman Burnett. Swings it in front for Westlake. And Greg Westlake, who's come out of retirement to join the Canadian team. A pretty good chance early on. That'd be crazy if he got the first goal, wouldn't it? Burnett just pushes it back in around the boards. Westlake goes after it. The collision back there. It'll be collected and pushed out to center. Quick pass, finds the stick of Marian Ligda. He'll send it up on the left side. There's a shot that's high and over top of Corbin Watson's net. Now Dixon with it. He knows what to do deep in his own end. He's pretty much a award-winning defenseman, and just about every time he stepped on the ice back in the day. Now playing on the forward line. Here's Lavin. curls around, slides a pass ahead for Dixon. A quick no-look pass that's intercepted. Canada gets it back, though. Halbert curls with it in between the blue lines. Canada changing. Halbert busting in, has some help now from Hickey. Liam Hickey busting down the left side. Takes it in behind the net. Looks in front, still has it. Now slides it for Jacobs-Webb. His pass in front, intercepted. And it'll be kept in at the blue line, though, by Armstrong. Trying to feed it back to Hickey. Hickey, a multi-sport athlete, has represented Canada in wheelchair basketball at the Paralympic Games. And he's all about the para-ice hockey game now, as this one deflects right onto into the crease of Edward Lepacek. And he's going to hold on. Lepacek played all the games for his team in Beijing back in 2022. Had stopped 84% of the shots that he faced. Ivan Hritsko going to be pretty pleased with the way his team is playing so far against the #2 ranked team in the world, Team Canada. 4 shots on goal so far for the Canadians, but the Slovaks playing tough. Canada's going to use that pause in the action to keep that #1 line out on the ice with Adam Dixon, Liam Hickey, and Anton Jacobs-Webb. I beg your pardon. Yeah, sorry. I had it right. Tyler McGregor, in fact, is the #8 on the Canadians. And 2 Adam Dixons on my roster. Tyler McGregor, the Canadian team captain, one of the flag bearers. Here's a chance. Jacobs-Webb, great save by Lepacek. Canada keeps it in at the blue line. Jacobs-Webb swings a pass across, it deflects in front, comes right back to Hickey. Pride of St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's Hickey, takes it back in behind the icing line, walks out front. Looking, passing. He had McGregor waiting there, lurking at the side of the crease in that area we call the back door, and it almost worked. Jacobs-Webb has to slow down to pick this pass up. Now he's got it, and he'll send it in deep. But Canada was already in the midst of a change. They've got possession and now in the offensive zone. That one is sent just wide of the net. Here's Boyle. He is absolutely slammed into by Ferencik. It's worked out front for Dunn. Nice little play. Boyle with a shot. Rebound loose in front. Kept in at the line by Burnett. Feeds it back to Halbert. Swings it in for Boyle. Good passing right now for Canada. In for Cozzolino. Right stick to left. Throws it across. And they score. Dunn parked at the side of the net. Fights off the check. And swats it in. And the Canadians are off and running. Minutes and 46 seconds into the game. Cozzolino makes a nice move. He's got the goaltender thinking he's going to shoot, but Dunn manages to get his stick on the ice, and on the second opportunity, shovel it in. Referee right there to make sure everything was above board, and on Canada's 7th shot of the period, they have a 1-0 lead. Dunn from Cozzolino, and Boyle is the official on that goal at the 6:46 mark. Here's Halbert. Swings a pass all the way across. Hickey races after it. And Slovakia doing a nice job really using the body here, although one of the Slovak players has lost his stick. And the puck is deflected right into the Slovak bench. And that can be a little bit scary at times, but that no harm, no foul in that situation. Canada won a gold medal at the World Championships back in 2024, upset the Americans in that one. Silver medalists at 3 different Paralympic Games, in addition to their gold, won in Torino in 2006. And don't forget, there was a bronze medal as well, a couple of times, in 94 and in 2014 in Sochi. No icing on this play. Good hustle by Tyrone Henry to get back. Here's Hickey, but a nice read by the Slovak player to get in front of that one. Now Hickey does have it in behind his net. As we're halfway through the opening period, 15-minute periods in para ice hockey. And it is fired in by Henry. He's out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canadian capital. Grabbed by Cozzolino. Makes a nice move at the blue line. He's got some room. Cozzolino dancing in. Slides a pass through to Henry. He throws it up for Boyle. Now Henry comes back. Didn't get much on it. And it is covered up by Lepacek, and he's going to hold on.
Dear fans, please pay attention at all times during the game, but mainly the play area. Feeling it at all times, you during the
It's kind of odd to look at the bench as we see how that last goal went in from Dunn. One of the Canadian players who has won 2 World Championship gold medals and 2 Paralympic silver medals. And he's got the puck again now. Boyle fishes it out in the corner. Swings it in for Cozzolino. He can't shoot it. Cozzolino, nice little play back for Dunn. He shoots off the shoulder of Lepacek. Boyle goes after it. Got a loose stick lying on the ice. That could get in the way. Here's Cozzolino. Stick handling in. There's a shot from Boyle. Covered up again by Lepacek. Well, there's nothing wrong with the goaltending on the Slovak side, that is for sure. Lepacek has stopped 9 of 10. That's a 90% average. And he's really strong, square, solid. You see, there's not a lot for Boyle to shoot at. Got a couple of whacks at it, and eventually that big paw of Edward Lepacek comes down on it. Loose puck, fished out by Lavin. He'll work it in. Canada trying to finesse it to the front of the net. Now Halbert with a shot. He just ripped it wide. Slovakia gonna struggle, I would think, here with energy maintenance. Just 8 skaters, essentially. And here comes Canada right back in with Halbert, and he rips one, but well over top of the net. Gathered in by Westlake, feeds it to Lavin. There's a shot. Nice reaction by the goaltender, Lepacek. Halbert now. He scores! What a wrist shot by Oren Halbert, the Bulgarian, in his Paralympic debut. And that was an absolute ripper. And hard to put any blame on Lepacek. Halbert hides the puck well, and then just rips it high on the blocker side. Always going to be harder for a player to make that save high on his stick side, his blocker side. It's a bit scouting maybe there by the Canadians. And Oren Halbert hasn't been on the team too long, but he certainly looks like he belongs. 14-20 into the opening period. Canada opening up a 2-0 lead. Anton Jacobs-Webb chops the puck back into the Slovak zone. Slovakia essentially with 11 players back from the team that played in Beijing 4 years ago. But clearly they're a banged-up group. Here's Armstrong. going to be off to an open corner. McGregor goes after it, chops it back in behind. Dixon, or at least Hickey with a nice hit to free up the puck. Now McGregor goes after it for Canada. Makes a couple of nice moves, the captain does. Still has it. Left-hand shot. Anton Jacobs Webb at the side of the net. And he couldn't tip it home. He drops it off for Hickey. Here's McGregor with a ripper of his own. And he snaps that one in, and it's 3-0 Canada. And they are coming fast and furious. Jacobs Webb doing well to come up with that loose puck. Drops it off for Hickey, who knows exactly where to go with it. To McGregor. And McGregor, who will celebrate his 32nd birthday during the Paralympic tournament. There's no question what to do with it. That is now his 14th goal at the Paralympic Winter Games. Playing in his 15th game, rather. So it's a 3-0 lead for Canada. Halbert fires the puck in. Rosalino slams his man Vencherek into the boards. That creates a loose puck for Canada. Boyley into tight traffic for Dunn. Back to Boyley. He's lying down. His shot still had to be, I think, touched by the glove of the goaltender. Here's Dunn again, looking for his second. Rosalino can't shoot it. Still has it, though. He's got it like a taped onto his stick almost. Slides it back, though, for Dunn now. Little razzle-dazzle as he's trying to hide the puck. Cozzolino's got it. Dances away from Turek. Cozzolino still hiding the puck from Robert Turek. And it's Halbert across onto the stick of Dunn. Into the middle for Boyley. And he ramps it up the stick of the goaltender and just over top of the net. Halbert keeps it in. Here's Hickey. Sorry, Cozzolino. Cozzolino with a left-hand shot. That's blocked. Here's Boyley. Takes it back in behind the net. Steers it for Lavin. He drops it off for Boyley. He shoots. He scores. Oh, it's a cannon. Right underneath the crossbar. You can hear it. And it is 4-0 Canada. Slovakia was hoping to get a huge goaltending performance from Lepacek. He's been fine, but they just haven't had enough offense to keep the puck out of their zone, and he's been just under fire. 15 shots already on Lepacek. 4-0 lead. That one coming at the 11:42 mark. As he does the math in his head. Look at those shots, 15 zip. I don't care where you're from. We'd love to see yourself on the big screen. That does happen from time to time. Not to us, though. They never seem to put the cameras on the broadcast, but we're okay with that. We didn't comb our hair today or shave or anything like that. Puck swatted into the zone by the Slovaks. Here's Armstrong. Takes his time deep in his own end. Now feeds for Greg Westlake. He feeds it ahead for Dixon. Fired on net. Oh, good job by Lavin to steer clear of the goaltender. Drops it off for Dixon. He snaps one right on net. And Edward Lepacek makes the save. Now they have been putting on a clinic on the Team Canada side, and they are full value for a 4-0 lead with 2:44 to go in period number 1 in this Pool B matchup. Pool B also includes teams from Japan and Czechia. Canadian team, 5-time world champions, including in 2024. Lots of fans of the Maple Leaf in attendance. Family members, even some kids of the players in attendance. And Ritsko needs his team to defend well and capitalize on opportunities. Try to get the puck into open ice for a player like Martin Joppa. That is easier said than done. He just needs a little more help. Joppa can do it if he's helped out, if he's supported. We've seen it. Joppa on the draw here with Jacobs Webb. And Joppa chooses to just launch it out. He does a nice job winning the draw. And that's going to send Aron Helbert back in his own zone. Already a goal in his Paralympic debut. His pass misses everyone. This might be, it will be an icing. Tyler McGregor almost negated it with a real burst of speed. Canada's actually made quite a few changes since Beijing 2022. 10 returning players. So that means 7 new players. Face it off again. Sometimes the linesman or the referee doesn't like the way the puck was dropped. Didn't think it was fair for the two sides. Or it wasn't fair to one of the sides, I suppose. And it was too fair to the other. How about that? Here's McGregor. He's got room. He's as well known in Canada as any Paralympic athlete. I would say he's front and center. Tyler McGregor, great spokesperson for Paralympic hockey. Nice job there by Joppa to spin away from a check, and then he just slides it out to center. So Slovakia, of course, in that same pool. They'll have big games against Czechia and Japan. Oh, it's all about improving and placement for a lot of these teams. Here's a chance, Joppa, but the Canadian coming out of the bench. Armstrong just knocked it away. I think Joppa had visions of being on a clear breakaway, and Armstrong was just on his way coming out of the bench. We got a good look there at Corbin Watson. You see the ice is right inside the bench. They haven't always done that for Paralympic tournaments or for World Championships. It's not an easy thing to accomplish. Often there's plexiglass down, but players really like it. When there's ice in the benches, they can just rip in and out really quickly. I think the coaches have got to have an extra liner in their shoes, though, because I'm going to guess that's chilly. Here's Joppa, side of the net, tries to find a spot in between the post and the goaltender's arm, but he couldn't do it. Good job by Watson. Puck is flipped out to center ice. Here's Greg Westlake across the line. Westlake with a shot. Oh, that was low. Smart, low shot. Lepacek makes the save. Henry back to retrieve inside center ice. Here's Lavin. Steers it across. And Dixon, this is going to be a penalty here, and I think it's going against Canada. An interference call. And it is Greg Westlake who's going to take it. What was that chance just moments before? So final 52.9 seconds of the period. And there he is, 6-time Paralympian gold medalist in Torino in 2006. Greg Westlake in the box. There's an assistant coach on the team, and some of the players lit the fire, the spark, and said, hey, why don't you come back? We can use you. Got himself back in shape. And here he is in the Paralympic tournament. Pozzolino got hit by the puck. It's underneath him. He's been able to steer it down the ice. There's an interference call, in case you missed it, against Westlake. trying to create a little room for his teammates. Interference is one of those sort of, sometimes I feel like it's an unselfish kind of penalty because you're actually trying to help your teammate often. Albert does well protecting the puck. Remember, Canada killing the penalty here. Here come the Slovaks. Busting out to center ice, Corman, their second leading scorer at the Paralympic qualifying tournament. And as the buzzer or horn sounds, a last-second hit thrown by Zach Lavin. But the referee turns the other way, I guess. And it is a 4-0 lead for Canada. Greg Westlake will have to resume his penalty in the second period. Westlake, 39 years young now. He was 19 years of age when he won a gold medal in Italy at the Paralympic Winter Games in 2006. Canada struck first at 6:46, done from Cozzolino and Boyle. And it was less than 3 minutes later that Halbert gave them a 2-0 lead. McGregor made it 3-zip, and Boyle added to make it a 4-0 advantage. There's the McGregor fan club, or at least part of it. There's the Slovakia fan club, or at least part of it. Everybody wants to cheer on the team. (17-1) the shots. Huge advantage for the Canadians. No power play opportunities for Canada, all even strength goals. Slovakia still working on a power play when the second period begins. Canadians dominant in the face-off circle as well, 73%, 11 of 15 on the draws. Slovakia held them back at bay for about 8 minutes until the Canadians were able to get on the scoreboard. Tight traffic in front. The holding at bay had a lot to do with that man, Edward Lepacek. Busy first period, facing 17 shots. He was good on a lot of them. It's some really nice saves, but eventually the pressure, the power of Canada, the diligence of a player like James Gunn just parked in front of the net and slamming that one in. And he'll get high fives and, well, head bumps all the way around. Doing really nice work, unselfish work. 2 Slovak players right there, and can't stop Gunn. Canadians just kept on coming, and this time they're finding their success, and you saw it a few more times in the period from long range. Lepacek was harder to beat when it was in tight, a little further out, and they were finding the top of the corner because the Slovak defenders were really backing in a lot, giving Canada extra room. And players like McGregor were also finding the top of the net. Canadian captain playing in his 4th Paralympic Games. So you had veterans scoring, and you had youngsters scoring as well. 14 Canada, the likes of Vincent Boyle in his Paralympic debut, making it look like he is a wily old veteran himself. And that is a high-skill shot. Goalie blocks a lot of the net, but he can't block it all. And after 1 period of play, it's Canada 4, Slovakia no score.
Lights. Down. Up. 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 Down. Wave your hands in the air.
Canadian fans have had lots to cheer about so far. It is a lopsided score, 4-0 after one period of play. Second period coming up. Beautiful Milano Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena. In one of the Paris Hera Ice Hockey Tournament. Paris was 2 years ago. It really was. Every once in a while it slips in. James Dunn got things started at 6:46 of the opening period. Cozzolino and Boyle assisting. Halbert unassisted made it 2-0. Then it was McGregor from Hickey and Jacobs Webb. And then it was Boyle from Lavin.
Now please welcome back onto the ice, Team Slovakia!
Slovakia looking to defend well, take advantage of opportunities, get the puck into the hands of their scorers like Corman and Yopa. But it'll be a tough go to come back against this Canadian team. However, Slovakia will start the second period on the power play. Late penalty in that opening period to Canadian Greg Westlake, so he's still in the box. Not to put too fine a point on it, but Slovakia only managed one goal at the Paralympic Winter Games 4 years ago in Beijing. However, it should be noted, the way the tournament was structured, there was only 7 teams. They only got to play 3 games. They didn't get to play a playoff game. So it would have given them another opportunity for sure. Corbin Watson getting ready in the Canadian net. He's been ready, but he only had one shot to face in that opening period. Did not allow a goal in his last Paralympic appearance in Pyeongchang back in 2018. Slovakia will try to take this advantage and turn it into an advantage. And here we go, second period action. Canada in red, Slovakia in white with the blue shoulders. The captain of Team Slovakia, Yopa, MVP of the Paralympic qualifying tournament. Here's a steal. Looking for Yopa, you can just tell that he's a sniper, and the captain's got the puck now. Slides it back for Ligda, works it in for Vacharek. There's a shot kicked aside by Corbin Watson. It'll be sent down the ice. That might have been the best little flurry of action we've seen from Team Slovakia so far. Ligda had it knocked away. Pushed up ahead for Yopa. And it'll be stolen from one captain by the other captain. McGregor then launches it down the ice. Final 15 seconds in the Westlake penalty for Canada. Slovakia trying to organize some sort of an offensive push, but it's a shorthanded chance instead. Here's Cozzolino busting in alone, stick handling, and a nice poke check by Lepacek. Beautiful. Canada back to full strength. Wesley scurries across. He was going to go to the bench, and then he got redirected into the offensive zone. He's lurking out front at the side of the net. Here's Hickey, and his centering pass slides right past everybody. Hickey's got it again, though. Works it back for Cozzolino. Comes back to Hickey. Great stick to left. Back to the blue line. Cozzolino's not going to get it, but Burnett will, the defenseman. Leaves it. Now it's dropped off for Cozzolino. He curls with the puck and looks for an outlet. A nice read by Yopa. He's got a bit of a path down the left wing here. Decides to drop it off for Corman. He goes cross ice, trying to feed Ligda. And it goes right through the Canadian goal mouth. Here's Corman centering pass. Hickey got in the way of it. And he'll swat it off the boards. It's fished out by Jopa. Good read by the Slovak captain. Launches one wide of the net. Albert didn't make the play quite he wanted, but Westlake was there to help out. Westlake digging for it in his own corner. We're just about 2.5 minutes into the second period. 4 first period goals for Canada. That's where we sit at 4-0. Ligda had it taken away, and it'll be pushed out to center. Here's Westlake. Slides a pass ahead for Hickey, skates right into it. Hickey's got some room, right shot, winding up, and he didn't get as much on it as he would have liked. And then he hurries to get off and give his team a chance to change. Armstrong does a nice job creating the turnover along the boards. Rob Armstrong still with it, works it in. Mazzolino trying to reach it. Dunn's going to come in and help. He got the scoring started for Canada 8 minutes into the opening period. Dunn still with the puck. Works it in for Cozzolino. Got it back to Dunn. Had to spin around to control it. Here's Boyle. Ferencik is trying to defend. It's going to be knocked away. Jopa banks it off the boards, and it's going to go just past Armstrong and out to center. Tyrone Henry goes back for it. Dishes it off for Boyle. Does well to come up with that. Got it up the butt end of his stick for a second there. This is an offside against Canada's Mazzolino. So full-scale change for the Canadians. But in case you've just joined us, Slovakia does not have that luxury. They are playing very, very short. There are just 3 players on the bench, plus the backup goaltender. And that is tough against the #2 ranked team in the world. Corman does well to come up with it. Now onto the stick of Canadian Adam Dixon. Nice feed ahead for Lavin. Cuts across the blue line. Right stick to left. Got a shot away. Save made. Lavin again. And it's pounced on by Lepacek. Lepacek seems to be having some issues with his face mask. Typically the referee wants you to consult him before you're going to start making these kind of adjustments if it's going to take any length of time, but that didn't for Lepacek. Lavin really diligent to get a couple of chances in front, and Lepacek 21 shots on the Slovakian goaltender against this Canadian team that has won 6 Paralympic medals in its history. It started with a bronze way back in 1994, and most recently a silver in 2022. See some of the nifty work there by Canadian captain McGregor, going under the sled. So you get finesse and you got force. It works in both directions. Canada's forward line. Dixon, Westlake, Lavin. Westlake comes up with the puck. His pass is going to be behind Helbert. He will track it down eventually, but all the Canadians have to clear the zone. Here comes Helbert, the defenseman, leading the rush, marching in, shooting, kicked aside, rebound comes loose. Dixon pauses with it, makes a patient play, but it was intercepted. Canada though keeps on it. Here's Lavin. In front for Dixon, gets spun around, stays with it, got a left-hand shot away. Lavin again, buzzing after it. Lavin doing excellent work here along the boards. Nice keep in at the blue line by Helbert. He'll send it all the way across for Dixon, kind of a third defenseman in that situation. Here is Dixon. Cuts his way to the front of the net, gets a shot. It got blocked in front. And it'll be wired down the ice. Will it go far enough for an icing? It will indeed. So we're just past the 5-minute mark of period number 2. All 4 goals in this game coming in the first. Came in a flurry. Dunn, Albert, McGregor, and Boyle sniping for the Canadians. There's another chance for Dixon. Never got through, though, to goaltender Lepacek. Face-off won by Canada in the offensive zone. Here's Armstrong. His pass behind McGregor. It'll be picked up by Hlinka. Couldn't get it by McGregor, though. Captain Canada swings it across for Liam Hickey. He shoots. He scores. It goes underneath the glove of Lepacek, who was thinking high, and all of a sudden it came low. And it is 5-0 for the Canadians. 4:29 into the second period. It was good passing by Canada, and it was good finishing by Liam Hickey, his first of the Paralympic tournament, and his 9th overall in his Paralympic career, in his 10th Paralympic game. Hey, that's pretty good. 9 goals in 10 games played at the Paralympic Winter Games. Pretty good numbers for Liam Hickey. Well, it took Canada about 8 minutes in the first period to get on the board. It's taken a little bit less. Actually, it was 6:46 into the first period. Here's a play back to the blue line for Tyrone Henry. Gives it to Hickey. Just out of the reach of McGregor. It's going to come back into the Canadian zone. And Rob Armstrong is going to go back to get it. Armstrong played as a forward at the Pyeongchang tournament and had an excellent tournament with 11 points in the 5 games played. He has done well to transition to defense. The one selling point you always give forwards when you want them to switch back to defense is you get more ice time. And the one negative is I always felt like it's when you jump on the ice, you're always heading backwards instead of forwards. When you're forward, you're going full speed forward. So you got to skate backwards once in a while. But for ice hockey, you don't see a lot of backward skating, though. That hasn't really been perfected yet. It might be one day. Canadians moving it around well. Here's Halbert, tipped in front. Boyle took a swat at it. Has already scored in his Paralympic debut. Here's Horman, digs the loose puck out, and he's going to send it down. Will it go far enough? It will again for an icing call. It doesn't have to be super hard. It just has to be hard enough to get down, and without the defensive players, as long as they make a real effort to get it. That puck was just ricocheting all around. Pretty rare in para ice hockey to see a right-catching goaltender. That's what Lepacek is. Here's Dunn with a chance. His shot stopped by Lepacek, and he's going to cover it up. And the referee is right on top of it, in front of the net, right on the edge of the crease. Canada keeps the puck in. Dumps it right back into the corner. Here goes Slavomir Ferenček. The 46-year-old defenseman for Slovakia gets it out to center ice. Martin Jopa will direct it into the Canadian zone. Hustling out of his net is Corbin Watson. He tees it up there for Halbert. And he gets his team going in the right direction. Here comes Halbert to center ice. Long pass, a good one though. Tipped by Cozzolino to Dunn. Chops it ahead for Boyle. He looks. He's got it. Hides it under his sled well. Eventually, will he shoot? Yeah, he will, but he just missed it. And Corman got it back to the blue line. Still not out, though. Slovakia under all kinds of pressure. We are past the halfway point of period number 2. Linka slammed into. Canadians gathering the puck, but here's Jopa. He sees an opportunity, and he's trying to take advantage of it. He's looking for some help. Ligda comes in to help him, and he is slammed into by Boyle. And here goes Helbert. Speed down the left side. Helbert still with it. Stick handles, tries maybe a wraparound, goes to Dixon, and he couldn't quite find the yawning cage, as it were. Here's Dixon. He is run over by Jopa. Here's Armstrong. Swings it across for Helbert. And the loose puck. We've got something happening here. The linesman was pointing at something in the zone. The referee then made a penalty call. It's a holding call. And we might have had an equipment issue as well. How did that not get in from Dixon? He tried to filter it through. Boy, I've been impressed with Albert. How he holds off players. He's got speed. However, it is a power play opportunity now for Canada as they will try to continue the pressure. Marian Ligda in the box. Ligda is the guy who had the second most minutes played for Slovakia at the last Paralympic Games. Here's McGregor, spins with it, gives it back to Hickey. Liam Hickey takes it in behind the offensive net. Doesn't want to give it away. Calmly pushes it back to the blue line for Cozzolino. And he is read smartly by Corman, who's going to dump it down the ice. Might have telegraphed that one a little bit, Dominic Cozzolino. Here's Hickey. Hickey spent some time playing defense for Team Canada as well, but he's full on forward here, and he's got full on speed. Here he comes, full send. Hickey in, Hickey stick handle off the side of the net. Dixon comes up with it in the corner. Back to the blue line for Hickey again, and he rips one right into the glove of Edward Lapacek. Lapacek will say, no, it didn't go in my glove, I went to get it. And he did. Liam Hickey, what a burst of speed that was. He sensed there was a hole. He sensed he could get through it. A couple of little right to lefts, and he just ran out of real estate at the last possible moment. Westlake picks it up in the corner. Slides it back in for Armstrong. Armstrong with a bit of space, still with it. His shot deflects to the corner. Boyle goes after it. Canada still on the power play. Under 50 seconds to work, but they're got the full offensive pressure. Westlake has it knocked away from him. And Jopa does well to get it out. Slovakian captain trying to do anything he possibly can. He was the MVP, as we mentioned, of that Paralympic qualifying tournament. Helped his team get here. Now he wants to help them succeed here, but easier said than done against important, highly ranked teams like Canada. Here's Helbert, throws it in front. It deflects over top of the net. Jopa left hands it ahead, but he can't clear it. Down to the final few seconds of the power play. Here's Armstrong. Helbert at the dot, gets a shot. That might have gone off the mask of Lapacek, and the referee blows that one down. And he wants to make sure that goaltender Edward Lapacek is okay and that his mask is okay. This is a laser beam from Helbert. It's not deflected, it just goes straight off the noggin of Lapacek. Boris Rebelka has to be certainly happy with this team's puck possession. They have been absolutely dominant here. undermanned and overwhelmed Slovakian side is trying to keep their head above the water. A goal would change a lot if they could get one. It would change the spirits, it would change the energy. McGregor manages to work that one through the sled of the opponent. This is a cross-ice pass for Hickey. He's bumped into by Vacek. Hickey takes his time, dishes off for Helbert. No look pass for Hickey, but it's read by Ligda, but Hickey manages to track it down anyway. Teams are back to full and even strength. Here comes Hickey. Doesn't want to shoot it. Back to the blue line for Helbert. Here's Hickey walking in, shooting, and stopped by Lapacek. So Team Canada continues to fire away at Slovakia. But they've only added one more here in the period and now out shooting the Slovaks 30-2 in the game. But it's 5-0 Canada. 5 different goal scorers: Dunn, Halbert, McGregor, Coyley, and Hickey have got the Canadians on the score sheet for head coach Boris Rebelka. Will be matchup. Canada, Slovakia, the two teams in the pool, Japan and Czechia. Czechia is hoping that they can be one of the top 2 teams in the pool. That would put them in a semi-final matchup. Canada hoping the same. Well, I guess everybody's hoping the same. Everybody wants to get into the semis. Otherwise, you're in a 5th or a 7th place game. But opening day of the Para Ice Hockey Tournament, and the story has yet to be written. Here's Slovakia's Vacek. Good job by Henry to keep it in. Here's Dunn, a bit of room. He realizes it. He's being checked, but he does well to go back and forth, left stick to right. Boyle races after it in the corner. He and Ligda collide. And Yopa, he's really pacing himself out there. He just sends it down the ice, but not far enough for an icing. Here's Armstrong. Lifts it into the corner. Kozolino goes after it. He runs into Vacek. 4 players battling in behind the icing line. Kozolino comes up with it. He's got Henry waiting at the blue line if he can get him the puck. Kozolino doing well to protect it, though. Still looking for someone in the open. He dishes for Armstrong. He's got a bit of room, got a shot away. Comes right back to Armstrong again. He swings it across. Kozolino, he didn't know where it was. He had it. He got the shot away. It's swatted away by Lapacek. Here's a chance in front for Dunn, looking for his 2nd of the game. And he got something away, and then it's covered up by Lapacek. And then the emotions start to rise. But nothing further will develop from that, it would seem. Well, I've been impressed, and how could you not be, with Edward Lapacek. .34 shots on his net. He's had a lot of traffic, and he has done very well. 5-0 though, Canada leads. He needs his offensive players to help get a little more energy going. Here's Westlake with the puck for Canada. Tries to work it in front for Lavin. Got knocked off stride, and Yopa's going to skate it out to center. Halbert slams into him. Little pushing and shoving after the play. Continues though. Here comes Lavin busting down the right wing. A bit of a path to the net. Here comes Lavin. Continues on. And he snaps it wide of the net. Dixon. Got a bit of room here. Couldn't get much of a shot away. Lavin follows up smartly. And Helbert couldn't reach it. Sean Burnett's going to go back to get it from McMasterville, Quebec. Here's Westlake in front. Couldn't get much of a shot away. Gathering it in is Halbert. His shot is blocked. Jopa's going to get it ahead, but still not out. Corman trying to clear it, and finally the Slovaks will bang it out to center. Swatted away from Halbert, but it's going to go into the zone. Inside of a minute to play in period number 2. Canada's got 1 in the period, but leads 5-0. And just see by the face of Jopa, he's frustrated. He's putting everything he has in. Face-off is going to come just outside the Slovak blue line. Well, they have had a solid period here defensively, but they haven't managed to generate anything in the offensive zone. Corbin Watson's been pretty lonely down in his net. Hickey spins away from his check, works it in for McGregor, cuts to the front of the net. McGregor's shot is blocked, rebound comes loose. And it'll be pushed to the blue line. Henry's going to keep it in. He'll deal it back in behind the net. Inside the final 25 seconds now of the period. McGregor fights off a check, spins around, got a good shot away. Henry. Hickey tries a little razzle-dazzle. Here's Henry, his pass blocked by Ligda. And that should do it for the second period of play. Canada adds to its lead by a goal, dominates territorially, but Slovakia is hanging tough in this one. It's 5-0 Canada over Slovakia after 2.
The shots on goal for the second period by Team Canada, 18. By Team Slovakia, 1.
I tiri di porta nel secondo periodo sono stati Canada 18, Slovacchia 1.
Well, all but one of those goals coming in the opening period. See Hickey's goal at the, I'll call it 20-29, or call it 5.5 minutes into the second period. And that was the one that put Canada up by 5. Maybe a member there or two of the Anton Jacobs Webb fan club. Even a Detroit Red Wings jersey on hand. A lot of people have made the trip from close by, from Slovakia perhaps, from Canada, from all around Italy to enjoy the festivities. Slovakia solid on the face-offs, but just not able to generate anything in the way of offense, and as a result, trails 5-0 after 2 periods of play. Well, you always knew that Slovakia was going to be in tough against the number 2 ranked team in the world. They needed a huge goaltending performance, and I think it's fair to say they've gotten that, really. Zach Lavin had a couple of chances to try to get by Edward Lapacek, but couldn't do it. That one's worth a couple of looks, but Lapacek really solid. And even when that one got away from him, got into a square position to make the save on the rebound. and he has stopped 30 of 35 shots in the game. Those are some nice numbers for a para ice hockey goalie. He'd like that one back, though, if he could. It was the only goal of the second period. Liam Hickey scoring it. Hickey comes in with that great pedigree, of course, both summer and winter Paralympian. Great player in wheelchair basketball, I can attest to that. And of course, great player on the ice in para ice hockey. Canada, though, just kept the pressure on. Didn't get rewarded anymore after that, but poor Corbin Watson, their goaltender, had a lonely period, didn't have a whole lot to do. Albert shining, looking strong. The Canadian defenseman in his Paralympic debut. And he's made such a nice play on that one. I thought maybe a wraparound was going to come. They looked for someone else out front. Unselfish play there, but really great speed. It was a good defensive play, actually, by Corman to shut off his path to the net. But all in all, ice kind of slanted in the way of Canada. But Liam Hickey, even with this incredible burst of speed that we saw, just couldn't quite seal it, but he certainly put on a clinic. But Edward Lapacek has been a big part of the story to keep Slovakia within 5, but they trail significantly after 2 periods of play. It's all Canada on the scoreboard so far. Stunning views from outside the Milano Cortina Santa Giulia ice hockey arena. There are all 5 goals in the hockey game so far. 5 different Canadian players scoring. Dunn, Halbert, McGregor, Boyle, and Hickey. Canada leads with 15 minutes to play. Glimpse there of the Canadian backup goaltender in this game tonight, Adam Kingsmill. I suspect that they will let both goaltenders play in the 3 preliminary round games, and then make their decisions as they go forward. Canadians, the number 2 seeded team in this tournament. Slovakia, the number 6. The Slovaks were in the 5th place game last year at the World Championships against Germany and lost. That actually would have punched Slovakia's ticket to the Paralympic Winter Games, but instead it punched Germany's ticket. Slovakia then had to go and play at the Paralympic qualifying tournament, and full value for them. It was the last day of that tournament. There was a 4-way tie. There were 4 different teams who could have gotten a ticket, and the final result was Slovakia beating Korea in their game, Japan beating Norway in their game, and thus Japan and Slovakia earned spots at this Paralympic tournament.
The official timekeeper is set. Let's count down all together.
That man hasn't come off the ice yet in the game. Martin Joppa, he needed that break in the dressing room because he has played 30 minutes for Team Slovakia. They are playing with just 3 skaters on the bench. Most of us around the game have just never seen this. It's what you see at a men's league game or something where everybody's not available, but in this situation, we got to think there's injuries. They do have a little shorter roster, but they had more players named to the team. Dunn races in. We're underway. 3rd period action. 15-minute periods in para ice hockey. Tyrone Henry comes up with a puck and then dumps it across the blue line. Ligda out to center, but Dunn is waiting there. And James Dunn will steer it ahead for Boyle. He's got one already in the game. He's coming in. Oh, and he rings it off the goal post. Had everything looking good, did Boyle. Jopa pushes it for Corman. Armstrong now controls for Canada. Bounces off a stick into the corner. Cozzolino and Jopa go for it. Canada comes up with the puck. Boyle, nice play to dig it free. His centering pass finds Dunn. Backhand shot, and that went 6.2 centimeters wide or something like that. Not much. Here's Ligda. And he puts it out to center ice. Good job by Armstrong to hide the puck. But it's going to be called in the glove pass. Yes, your glove is right close to your stick, and yes, you pass with your stick. And yes, your glove is often on the ice, but you cannot pass the puck with your glove. There's that opportunity for Boyle off the goalpost. He's got Lepacek beat. But Lepacek made friends with his goalposts, I suppose, before the game, and they helped him out. But he's helped himself a lot tonight. 31 saves on 36 shots. And by the way, if you hit the goalpost, that does not count as a shot on goal. Because if the net was empty, you could still hit the goalpost, and it would. The goaltender has to be in and has to have made a save that the puck would have gone in the net. Goes off McGregor. Jopa goes back. The two captains. Jopa leaves it, and it'll be bounced off the boards and out to center ice. Sean Burnett going back for it in his Paralympic debut, but it's going to be an icing call against Slovakia. Canada used a different set of lines at the gold medal game at the World Championships last year, so we'll see how this tournament evolves. They had McGregor and Hickey playing with Cozzolino there in that gold medal game. Right now, Hickey and McGregor are playing with Jacobs Webb. Anton Jacobs Webb. Here's Hickey. As well, even while he's on his side and on his belly, it comes free. He bought just enough time for his teammates. Here's Jacobs Webb. He snaps one from a sharp angle. Rebound loose in front. Oh, and it just rolls wide. Hickey couldn't be lucky on that one. Here's McGregor. Sends a left hand shot on net. That's covered up by Eduard Lepacek. And he's going to hold on. So just 2 minutes gone by here in the third. Now 38 shots sent on the Slovak net by the Canadians. It's really boosting the save percentage of Lepacek, but he's helping his own cause, that is for sure. McGregor, he didn't have an angle with his right stick, but he did with his left almost enough. Dixon wins the faceoff, back to Zach Lavin, comes to the blue line for Tyrone Henry. Jopa got in the way of that. Kept alive though by the Canadians. Armstrong, nice job again to go under his sled. Spins with it, he's got a bit of room, centering pass. Might like to see him just shoot that one at the net. And it's gonna come back to Adam Dixon. Takes his time, waits, dumps it in. Slovakia's captain Jopa pushes it out to center. Armstrong was waiting there. He works it in. Canada one shot away from getting to the 40 mark in this game. Here's Jopa, maybe a 3-on-1 developing, but look who comes back. Zach Lavin absolutely turns on the Jets. Playing in his 100th Canadian national team game is Zach Lavin. He's got the puck now. Lavin with a shot. It slides in front. Now Dixon, he's got a bit of room. His shot is blocked. And it'll be gathered in by Jopa. He's run into, though, by Lavin. Lavin throwing his weight around big time. Here's a chance. Cozzolino, and his left-hand shot wide of the net. Corman bailed out of that impending crash. Here comes Jopa. He's got a little bit of speed, but three Canadians are back to meet him, including Helbert, who knocked it away. It's onto the stick of Ligda, though. And broken up by Canada's Boyle. Up ahead for Cozzolino, does well to track it down. In the right wing corner, Cozzolino still with it, flips a pass out front. And Ligda just taking his time, pushing it out. A real wait-and-see game by Team Slovakia, playing shorthanded as we near the 4.5-minute mark of the third period. Wired off the boards by Milos Večerek. And the crowd really wants something good to happen for Team Slovakia as Ligda got knocked down. Off the stick of Rob Armstrong, it'll go down the ice. But he was on the good side of center if you're a Canadian fan, the bad side if you're a Slovak fan, so no icing. Corman does a nice job. He's trying to feed it out to center for Ligda. The problem with the Slovak players, now they lose it. Here's Dunn, he's got a breakaway. He's got Boyle with him. Dunn, stick handle, scores! Or did he? No, oh my goodness. But Večerek kept that out, or at least Lepacek kept it out. My goodness. I gotta see this again. Dunn, right stick to left. Sure looked like it went in the net. We're a little confused here, and I think a lot of people are, and I think the officials are going to take a look at this one. Right now the scoreboard's still reading 5-0. Two linesmen are being asked for their opinion, I guess you could say. Well, these are some of the earlier plays. Not for the faint of heart, this para ice hockey game. It was a muted celebration by the Canadians if they really thought that was in the net. The referee has now decided he needs to take a better look at this. Kevin Webinger, Canadian referee, is taking a look at the video. We've only seen it from really the one angle, haven't we? But it sure looked like it was in the net. And it was a goal. 6-0 Canada. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of doubt about it at the time. All right, well, we know the puck went in. We know it is 6-0 for Canada. They scored 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and that is their first here in the third period, just past the 5-minute mark. Canadians push it back out to center ice. Jacobs Webb, he finds McGregor. The captain's got room. Here he comes. Oh, he got his pocket picked by Corman. Good second effort there by Corman. Here's Hickey. Swings it across for Armstrong. Deals it all the way back to the blue line for Hickey. Into the corner for McGregor. Hickey's going to try to get into an open spot, I would suspect. McGregor rips it over top of the net. Hickey comes up with the puck in the corner. Here's Jacobs Webb. Armstrong. McGregor Hickey tries to get on the end of this one. He slams into Yopa, who slams into the boards. And now McGregor. Got a bit of room here. They're leaving him alone. McGregor still with it. McGregor, nice play for Hickey. Wheeling in, throws it on net. Rebound in front. They bang away at it. It is still loose. Referee doing well to get himself in a good position. And it'll be sent down the ice. And Hickey's going to go back for it. You love it when your forward is your first player back on defense. Coaches are going to love that. Nice little push ahead. McGregor took a bit of a forearm shiver as he made that play. McGregor then heads to the bench, as does Hickey, as does Jacobs Webb. Good line change for the Canadians. Nearing the halfway point of the third period. Canada has added to its lead and has a 6-0 edge in this Pool B match. Burnett ahead for Westlake. He finds Lavin. Lavin's last shift was super effective. Here's Halbert. Takes it back in behind. The defenseman coming deep on the play. That means Dixon's covering for him back at the blue line. Halbert twists and turns and walks in, and he ropes one over top of the net. Slovaks had a chance to maybe clear it. Couldn't get anything organized. The Canadians on top of them. Here's Burnett. His pass finds Halbert. Snaps one on, kicked aside by Lepacek. And this one is going to come out to center ice. Sean Burnett's going to go back for it. Drops it off for Halbert. He finds Dixon. Nice little tip ahead for Lavin. He's got a bit of room, works his way in, and couldn't quite get the finish. This is sent down the ice by Team Slovakia, and an icing will be called. 6:35 on the clock in the third. 6-0, Canada leads it. Latest Canadian goal, James Dunn unassisted at the 5:06 mark of the third period. Or if you might want to call it the 35:06 mark of the game. 45-minute total games as opposed to 60 in para ice hockey. 15 minutes per period. Here's Dunn, curls in high in front of his own net. 2 goals in the game for James Dunn. Ahead for Halbert. Boyley, he's been impressive in his Paralympic debut. Dunn's out there with him. Here's Boyley. Here's Boyley scoring, and he's got his second. An absolute ripper with the left stick. And Boyley showing off his skill. Boyley, he's got wheels. He's got slick hands, under the sled, right to left, and up to the top shelf she goes. 7-0 Canada. 43 shots the Canadians have sent on Edouard Lepacek. Meanwhile, Corbin Watson has not faced a shot yet in the third. He had 1 in the first, 1 in the second. It was 17-1 in the first, 18-1 in the second. Liam Hickey back deep in his own end. Launches a pass out for McGregor. Jacobs Webb trying to chase after it, but a good job defensively by Slovakia's Vecetic. But he's got under pressure from 2 Canadian players. You would think that Slovakia would want to get 2 on the puck in the corner, and instead they lose the battle. Here's McGregor. He's got room, kind of stick handling in tight quarters. Got a good left-hand shot on Lepacek, who makes the save and will hold. Each team in the Paralympic Para Ice Hockey Tournament gets 3 preliminary round games. Slovakia's next will be against Czechia and then Japan. Canada will play those same 2 teams, first Japan, then Czechia. That was that last goal by Vincent Boyle. That was so impressive. He is out of Elma, Quebec. Really short-handed Slovakia team. We saw that when the lineups first came out tonight, only listing 5 forwards. And that is so hard to play. Listing 4 defensemen, but to be fair, we've only seen 3. Canadians win the face-off in the offensive zone. Burnett's shot is deflected aside by Lapacek. Jopa essentially playing the entire game. Still don't think he has come off the ice yet. Battle rages in the corner. Halbert gives to Hickey, and he had it lifted from him by Jopa. Just inside the Canadian blue line. 4 or 5 players all battling. And the goaltender didn't want to cover it up, Edouard Lapacek, but decided that was the smart play to make, but he didn't get enough help in his mind. Took Canada 6 minutes and 46 seconds into this game to get their first goal. It's a James Dunn goal. He has scored again since, but not before 4 of his teammates, 4 of his teammates scored in between and 1 scored after. And lying on the ice, Dixon gets it back to Armstrong. Here's Lavin. Dixon again trying to help out. Lavin, and quite impressive actually, the effort from number 7, Lavin. Here's Dixon. He's got a bit of room here. Walks in, still holding, and he just couldn't filter it into the net. Here's a shot off the post by Lavin. He just ripped it. Another chance. That was Armstrong, and he lifts it over top of the net. Westlake manages to keep it into Armstrong. Penalty coming here. It's going to be against Slovakia. And I believe Ferencek's going to get a teeing penalty. That'll give Canada a power play with 3:49 on the clock. There's that last one off the pipe. And indeed, Ferencek does make his way into the penalty box. Canada's second power play of the game. They have got all 7 of their goals at even strength. Sure, they would like to get some work done here on the power play. Cozzolino, McGregor, Dunn, Dixon, and Hickey. Actually, all 5 forwards on the ice. Here's Cozzolino with a shot. Rebound is loose. They jam away in front. And Jopa's going to push it into the corner. McGregor's going to go for it and try to get things organized again for his side. His pass, though, might have rushed it a bit. It's going to come out to center. Still Canadian possession. Still 90 seconds to work on the power play. Here's Tyler McGregor. Now Liam Hickey. McGregor. Dunn. He'll skate into this one. And we've got Jopa getting knocked out of his sled. No penalty on this play. It's just a technical equipment issue. that's about as long as Jopa's got to rest all night. It's just been a long night for the captain of Team Slovakia. .306 remaining in the third. 1:17 left in the Canadian power play. Cozzolino, McGregor, they push everything out to the right side. Here's Liam Hickey, overskates it, has to go back to get it. Cozzolino. Dunn tried to reach behind him. And a good play here by Slovakia to clear it down the ice. Hickey's gonna go back to get it. Canadians want to work on their power play because there'll be tougher games in the tournament where they really need all 5 clicking. Here they come with Cozzolino, scores! And then he slams into the goalpost. I hope he's all right. But Dominic Cozzolino made that look like child's play, and it wasn't. It's a world-class goaltender you're facing on the other side. He gets set up brilliantly, goes quick right stick to left. And thankfully that's just it. Well, thankfully, but it's his shoulder, I think, that goes into the pipe. Oh, I don't know. I hope it was only his shoulder, but a little bit scary looking. Cozzolino, he's got the goaltender. He sells that he's going to shoot with the right stick. And it's a lot about the skating as well. Because as soon as you get that skate tipped and turn to the left, you've created a whole new opportunity for yourself. Brilliant job by Cozzolino. That's his first of the Paralympic tournament. This time around, but his 4th overall in his 2nd Paralympic Games. He was on the team in Pyeongchang, and he's back on the team again in Milano Cortina. Liam Hickey picks up the only assist on that play. Canadians continue to pressure with 2 minutes to play in the third period. What has been a very thorough effort by Team Canada. Here's Lavin. He works it for Dixon. Hit! Westlake was trying to get on the end of that one and tip it home. Almost worked. Drops it off for Burnett as Westlake. Dixon, a little twisting and turning under his sled as he makes the move. Here's Westlake. Fights off the check of Jopa. Lavin comes in to pick up the loose puck. He dangles it out front. And he slipped it off the outside of the net. Saw the mesh move for a second there. Here is Helbert. Here is Dixon. And Slovakia trying to get something going. You can just hear the fans are dying to give a big cheer for Team Slovakia. Less than a minute to play in this one. And Lapacek's going to decide, let's just hold on and think about this. Yeah, look at that, just gasping for breath. Jopa. Jopa's going to go out there against Cozzolino on the face-off. Canadians win the draw. Here's Boyle. He's working on a 2-goal game. Armstrong in front for Dunn. So both Dunn and Boyle get a last shift here to try for the hat trick. Here's Cozzolino. Had it taken away from him. It's going to be pushed out to center ice. Canada's going to go and retrieve it with Armstrong. Dunn has to really reach for that one. Good play by Jopa to tie up the man, but not take a penalty, but let his teammate play the puck. Here's Tyrone Henry. He'll deal it back in. We're inside the final 10 seconds to play. A 4-goal outburst in the first period. On their way to a 7-0 victory. Let's check that. An 8-0 victory. Canada scores 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and 3 in the third period.
Final score of this game is Team Canada 8.
8-0. Canadians 2 for Dunn, 2 for Boyle. Singles for Halbert, McGregor, Hickey, and Cozzolino. Really, really impressive. Canadians fire 51 shots at the Slovakia net and did not allow a shot against in the third period.
Team Canada
Not even one.
51, Slovakia 2.
I tiri nel terzo periodo sono stati Canada 16, Slovacchia 0 e un totale nella partita di Canada 51, Slovacchia 2.
Well, that is going to be a tired Slovakian team that's going to need some ice. I mean, everybody needs to get well taken care of after games. But Lepacek, the goaltender for Team Slovakia, is full value for his effort in this game. He had to work hard, facing 51 shots. He comes up with 43 saves. His team couldn't generate any offense, but they certainly generated a whole lot of effort. And their goaltender and their captain were right in the lead of the pack. But it was too much, too strong for the world number 2s, Canada. And they get off to the right start in their tournament with an 8-0 victory.
Si invita il pubblico a seguire le indicazioni del personale per raggiungere le uscite e a portare con sé tutti i propri effetti personali. Grazie! Milano Cortina 2026 è giunta al termine. Vi ringraziamo per la presenza e speriamo.
Despite a spirited effort by Team Slovakia, it was really all Canada from about the 6.5-minute mark of the opening period. Lots of balance in the scoring. Corbin Watson was ready if needed, but he didn't get a lot of shots. But the Canadians win it by a final score of 8-0.
Our next para ice hockey game here at the Milano Cortina Ice Hockey Arena is starting